Thank you all so much for being here. We're going to give a minute or so for people to come on in here after the ping has been sent out. But the I think this is going to be such a fun stream because we're going to be focusing not just on stop motion animation, which is what my history is with, but we're also going to be focusing on puppetry today, like hand puppets, sock puppets, that kind of thing, because Midjourney does an amazing job animating these things. And I definitely want an example that I had shared with the group earlier. But what I have done is I've posted inside of VC Create a couple different stop motion examples using a particularly fun result from Tanner, and then spinning off of that. So what I'm going to show you guys here, it's taking a second to kind of get some gifs and stuff loaded for you guys, but this just animates extremely well if we start with more of a hand puppet to sock puppet sort of workflow, because if we just put puppet show, it's going to put a bunch of strings on characters, and if we just get yes, there's all sorts of funny stuff inside of here. I'm excited to show you guys this here in a moment.
Oh my god.
But from what I want to do first is just do a little intro. First off, my name is Victor Gnarly. I'm a former visual effects artist with shows like Robot Chicken, Moral Oral, and a couple other Adult Swim shows. I'm joined here with Rhapsody
Hello.
and Ancient and Kinky as well. So
Hello.
this is going to be quite the silly stream here today. We're going to first be making puppet versions of our characters. If you already have an existing character, you'll learn how to make a puppet version of yourself, like I did with Victor here. And then after that, we'll learn how to animate specifically within the puppetry style, because puppetry follows specific rules. Like you have to imagine there's a hand inside of that puppet, and you are limited to what the hand can do. And any sort of additional animatronics has to have some sort of mechanism to make it work, unless you're doing like CGI and a bunch of other funny stuff. I want it to look as real as possible. So when it came to making an image of Victor and Raps walking down the steps here, the only thing this really took was creating a combination of two characters inside a single frame and then running that as a Midjourney video. So we're going to do all that today and tell a little story here at the same time. So I'm stoked to see what you guys do with this. I want to thank all y'all for being here. I see Lux is here. Thank you so much. Let's see here. I have to load up the main server here. But yeah, I am stoked to see what you guys get into with remixing your own characters in this style. The key thing is that we have a server called the Gnarly Studios that you can basically use as a character depot. It's a place to share and collaborate and make stories together. We really do like non-linear storytelling, like where we could just kind of work with what the images we get and then tell an elaborate story from there. So what I'm going to do is you're going to see inside of VC Text on the left side of my screen here, you're going to see links from Kinky to join our server. That is the best way to get there. And you'll find VC Create and VC Text just above the stage. So if I scroll on down from the Midjourney server here, you'll see VC Text and VC Create. VC Text is where we're going to be chatting, and then VC Create is where we're going to be prompting and collaborating with each other. So I already see Golem is going hard, of course. But what we're going to do is first we are going to grab a couple different characters and convert them to the puppetry style, and then start to animate those. I have a puppet in mind to kind of be a bit of an introducer or introduction or an opener to a puppet show, and I linked them a little earlier here, or maybe a little later. Let's see, is it this one? Yeah, it's probably this one. Yes, and it's a hand rising with a face on it, and I just thought this is such a fun idea for a hand puppet to literally be just a hand with a face on it. So we'll be able to extend that, get the character to talk, and do all that kind of stuff. So we'll have some fun doing that too a little later. But for now, I need to grab the character portal here. Boop. And copy that link. And then you'll find that inside of VC Create here. the character portal is where we share and collect all of the stuff that we do on this stream. So you're going to find, let's clear this out here. You're going to find ordered based on most recently updated all sorts of characters, and depending on what sort of genre that you're into, you can fine tune the search for that. But feel free to grab one of these characters. The only thing we ask you to do is that whatever you make with them, please share inside of their portal like entry here, because it means that whoever makes them, including yourself, if you do make a new character, you'll get pinged, letting people know what they did with your character. So it's a really fun way to collaborate. I really want you guys to contribute to this, and we're going to basically be making like alternate versions of these characters in traditional puppet form, but I feel like we have the potential to do some really funny stuff with that, because the animation in Midjourney just knocks it out of the park for this. So let's grab a character really quick. We did a couple things with Rolf and a couple of Alistair's characters before. I do want to see a puppet version of Yona, so I'm going to grab Yona. This is a character from Lolo soon. So let's try this out really quick, and then you guys can replicate this process in order to make your own characters into like these puppet styles. So let's go ahead. I'm just gonna grab this collection of Yona here. Oftentimes at the very top of these posts, you'll find like guides, prompts, that kind of thing. And we're just going to take this image here and use it as an omni reference. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to do this first on the Midjourney website because it gives me a nice visualization for it, and then I'll bring it back to VC Create for you guys. And Golm's little puppet version is so damn cute. I think this is going to be really fun, guys. But let's see here, and I hope you guys are having a great Friday. I'm really enjoying myself today. I think this is going to be a particularly fun one because it's going back to what I originally did at Hollywood, which was stop motion animation. So what I'm going to do first is we are going to go to the very top bar here and paste the reference, our character reference, into there. Take that over to here, and I have a sample or an example of this up here that I used with I Troll for You's character, this dragon mustache character. I always think he's like a fantasy tax man. Like he's here to collect your taxes. And he's a dragon. It just happens to be that he's a dragon. But we're going to take some of the stuff that I had implemented with this prompt to create this, because the original character for I Troll for You looks like this. It's a 2D illustration, and we have to convert that into a puppet. And how do we do that? We're going to use style references to do it. So I'm sure the style creator, there's probably a couple people who have access to a couple SREF codes that might help us make stop motion. I want to see those too. But for now, we're just going to bum this image, which is of Victor and Rhapsody together, like in this kind of open or darker space. I just liked how the characters pop. I like that we have a combination of full puppetry, right, where it's like full felt aesthetic, and then some papercraft as well inside of Rhapsody. So what this is going to do is that the papercraft element inside of like the expressions in Rhapsody's face particularly are going to help convert some of the more anime characters that are on our character portal, because a lot of times when I was testing this, I needed to have both of these examples there just so that people would be able to mess with this and be able to get reliable expressions. Otherwise it kind of comes out like a mask. So
it looks so silly.
Yeah, I love it. I love it though. It's my partner particularly was really loving the puppet raps here, or puppet Rio. But let's go ahead and see what happens now if we apply this to Yona. The same logic as this, but to Yona. So I have that sref copied now, and I can literally just paste the entire URL with the sref code, and it'll understand that it wants it to be a style reference because of that. So just to reiterate, I literally just copied this, and because the parameter for hyphen hyphen sref or style reference is there inside of what I copied, that means that when I paste it, it actually knows what it is and just puts that image where it belongs. So now we have a style reference, we have an omni reference, but we need to make sure that the omni reference doesn't take over for the style reference, and we do that by dropping the omni weight, or the just essentially how strong this image is. That's how I was able to get iTroll4u to look like a puppet, was because his omni weight is only at 55. Okay, so let's go ahead and copy that over. Paste that in there. That is just going to be a parameter that floats there at the top until we describe what we want to see inside this image. Is there anything else? 16.9 as well. I heavily recommend, because we're going to be doing this almost exclusively with video, when it comes to what we output with this, I highly recommend keeping everything to 16.9 so that we can easily edit it together and make a big old puppet show out of what we make today. So, especially if you have an original character that you want to see inside of this variety show, you're going to be able to do it. Here's an example that I actually made ahead of this. Did I like the one that I actually like? Let's see. No, I'll go ahead and just click this one to show you guys. Basically, the face hand comes in, reaches for the felt of the stage, and then pulls open the stage, revealing the whole stage, the whole set. So we could use all these as like starting and end frames to build the entire scene from scratch. So now let's finish this prompt, AR16.9, and we're just going to describe this as a sock puppet. Or if you want it to look a little less, a little less like a sock puppet, you could just say that this is a stop motion animation. It'll make more plastic elements, more clay-like elements by doing that. But I really want that like felty, textured fabric look that AI is so good at doing. So let's go ahead and just submit this, a sock puppet with a style reference of Victor and Raps as puppets, as the guide, and then using Yona as the omni reference. And then based on these results, we're going to tweak our prompt to start describing the character. I really support, or at least the way I approach Midjourney is very iteratively. I try my best to make sure that I take steps in my prompts. I don't like throw everything, or at least I tried to edit things sequentially. So like I'm only adding or subtracting one element to my prompt one at a time and seeing how far I can go with that. Noob Lady said, have a great time. I can't stay and have to eat and help my sister today. Have fun. Oh no, thank you so much for popping by, Noob Lady. It's good to see you guys. And there's a couple people I recognize in the audience too, of course. I see Reason, Enid, Nixie, Drolanak. Let's see here. We got we've got a whole bunch of new people too. Awesome. Thank you all so much for coming. I'm excited to see what we can do here.
Welcome to the stream.
Yeah, and this is going to be a little bit of a different one because we're kind of forcing you guys to work with a specific medium here. But constraint is the source of inspiration, and it's what saves you from burnout, in my opinion. I've been doing this long enough now that when I pull out a black pen and just have a sketchbook, I am at the happiest I can be, because I know that I don't have an infinite amount of potential of what I can do like I can digitally. I just have that pen and I just have that paper, and it just helps me kind of figure out what I want to do. And I feel like giving you guys some kind of constraint in AI will do something similar. We've seen that in the past anyway. So let's see what we got as our initial results. But you got something to say, Raps?
Oh yeah, I just made a little puppet of Roxy, and she looks super cute.
Oh, is it in VC Create?
Yes.
All right, let's take a look. Oh my God, yes. That is very cute. It is one of those too that when we see this animate, it could kind of break the what do you call it? It is so adorable, but it is one of those things where, like, depending on the complexity of these, sometimes we need to, add things like clear armature joints and things like that. So when they move, it, like, looks like a puppet, right? I'm curious how much of this looks like CG by the time, like, it starts animating. But it's very cute, Reps. I really dig that. We'll see how everyone else converts their characters, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah. Also, feel free to make new ones if you have a favorite puppet. Think hard. Think hard. Tell us. Maybe make something similar.
Right.
Just
right.
try something. I want to see 100 puppets in VC Create. Just make something new.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Just have fun with it, and we'll start exploring this puppet world together and make a show out of it. I like what Enid's
Maybe
doing
like some
here.
creatures too.
Yeah. Dark Crystal style. One of my favorite movies. But let's go ahead and take a look at Enidor is already going on video here, making this space girl here. I do find it funny how reflections and shadows affect video. Right, you can see on the top of her helmet that she has a little bit of glass reflection, but then there is none more of that. Like, you would have to hide her hair entirely in the helmet, and then the reflection would function more, I would say. But I'm just so curious to see what you guys do with this, especially since we're kind of genre hopping and going all over the place with this. You see Golem. Oh my God, Golem's little cat character talking here. That is cute. So this would be more done in it's certainly stop motion, but this also is a form of face replacement where every time every new shape of the mouth is actually, if we were to do this practically, there would be a likely 3D printed mask that's on the face with each expression. So each one would be a new mask, and then it's just timed to the voice acting. So it's really cool to be able to see like how I could do this traditionally. You know what I mean? And use that as an additional constraint to what we're making here. Let's see. He's so cute. This is definitely giving me 80s fantasy vibes with the stop motion here with Roxy. Okay, cool. Let's see what we got for Yona though. To get us started here, we see that without any description of Yona at all, we basically have like this gothy character here. We could increase the omni weight and see how much that balances it here, but Lolo already did a bunch of stuff here for us that's going to help us bring this character back, to be more fleshed out, and that's by describing the character in the prompt. So let's go ahead in here, and we see that we kind of nicknamed them spells when it comes to prompts, but we have an entire description of this character here from Lolo. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy that over, and there is a couple artifacts from older versions of Midjourney in here that is like the weights and stuff. We'll get rid of those, but we just want to use that as a starting point here. So let's hit the use button on the website to just quickly copy the prompt over. And once I have a nice version of Yona, I'll bring that into VC Create for you guys. So let's add depicted to the front of this, depicted as a sock puppet, and then paste everything that Lolo wrote at the start of this. So a dark voodoo witch elf wearing a black torn dress with white chicken feathers, collar, and bone trinkets. She has dark skin composure. We'll get rid of these weights because that was something like version 5 and I think version 6 Midjourney had. But we're going to get rid of the weights. Sharp cat eyes, slits, pointy ears, and then X-shaped bangs, bandages on her arms and legs, and then depicted as a sock puppet at the very end there. Let's actually separate these two out because there's a lot of description there. I'm going to go ahead and say that this is a sock puppet and then adding it to the front of the prompt is going to help, I think, a lot. We'll see what we have to adjust from this, but generally speaking, what's towards the front of your prompt is like going to be a much stronger focus by default than anything that's towards the end of your prompt. So let's go ahead and just write a sock puppet that's a dark voodoo witch elf and go from there. All right, let's take a look. Yeah, we got someone spamming inside of VC Create. It's all good. We'll figure it out. But look at this. This is cute. I again, the hair popping out bothers me, but that's it. Like that's the only problem that I have with this. I love the animation though. The way we would do mouths and Robot Chicken's very similar to this actually. So the way that this is done is basically there's a dot on the face, a single Sharpie dot on a round orb face. If I could actually very quickly show you guys what that looks like with by just editing Enid's image here. So let me copy that here, and I will basically drag this quickly into Photoshop because I am going to draw this. It's going to take 2 seconds. If Photoshop will load for me. Let's go ahead. I'm glad you liked it, Enid. So let's go ahead and quickly open up Photoshop for you guys so you can see this. This is Enid's super cute little astronaut character. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna quickly remove the mouth here. And there's a couple different tools in Photoshop. We're not doing a Photoshop class today. I'm just gonna quickly remove it so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. Essentially, what we would do is we would have a single dot on the face of the character, like so. Grab my pen tool, just a little dot right here, and that little dot would be tracked with motion tracking tools, mostly After Effects. We would track that dot, and then when we start to animate, the animator doesn't have to focus on the voice acting. They can just worry about the physical performance. And that's what really makes this stuff work in terms of being budget or at least cost effective. Imagine the animator only has to keep track of where the head's moving and where the hands move, like the hips and all that kind of stuff. There is just a dot that floats there. And now, after that is animated, we can look at that dot, track it, and then say every third or fourth frame, switch the mouth, and we tell it what mouth to switch to. And it's a digital overlay. I have been told that I ruined a few episodes of the show for a few people because I pointed that out, and they can go, "Oh my god!" I could tell that the mouths are really standing out from the rest of the animation. And I'm like, yeah, because they're all digital. The mouths are all digital, but the all the animation traditional, of course. But that is a very cheap way to animate, and we could do the same thing with Midjourney, where we put a single dot and we basically say the character's wearing a mask so that there's no mouth or anything that's generated, and then boom, you can manually lip sync your stop motion animations from Midjourney. So if we get that far, we'll get that far. I'm not sure if we will, but we'll see what we get done. But let's go ahead and see what Yona looks like now with the description of her included. Oh my god. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we can see that we definitely got Yona now in these. Does it look like our puppets yet? No. I think we're gonna have to do a little more work to emphasize this as a puppet because Yona is just completely dominating this result. That's some impressive splits. Yes, it is. It is. To see how far you guys can go with it, with your prompts that you have already crafted.
2 centimeters at maximum.
Oof. Let's go ahead and send this over to you guys so you can already get started with this. I'm using /show to bring in a prompt from our midjourney.com or another server, and just kind of paste the job ID into there, and that will get us this here in VC Create, so you guys can start editing. So yeah, now you have Yona doing the splits as a very loose stop mo puppet. Okay, let's go ahead and now improve on this. I can see you guys are already animating it. God. Okay. Let's move on. I need to make sure that we make this look like a proper puppet though. So let's go ahead and hit use. And now I am going to try to increase the power of this style reference here. So let's add a new parameter, --SW, which stands for style weight. And let's set that to like 350. Because the default is closer to like 100 or so. But with a higher style weight, it'll emphasize more of what's inside of our style reference, which includes all sorts of felt and fabrics and things like that. So we're going to see if that helps. because we instantly got Yona back the moment we gave the proper description for her. But now we have to see how much we can transcribe into this puppet look. Um, I don't like the idea of mentioning IP, like a lot of IP and stuff here when it comes to this stuff either. I know that there's probably going to be a couple big names when it comes to puppetry in particular. Instead, we are going to make our own, puppets here. Like there is a difference between making a generic puppet and making like a clone of something that exists already. So please try to be original with this because I'm definitely going to share it in many places. I really want to have some fun with this. Look at this. Okay. This is way better right off the bat. We have the felt texture in the hair. We have the somewhat carved or clay faces and body. We don't have any like armature bits for the elbows and such, but that's fine. I think this is already a very, very good leg up from what we had before. So let's go even farther. I want to see how much more we can push this before we start losing Yona. This one actually gives us a bit of a side-by-side between a more drawn version of her and a little bit more of a traditional material version. I'm not going to go for something like this. I want to push it. I want to see how far we can go in terms of the puppet look. So let's go ahead and bump this all the way up to like 750 on the style weight. See what we get. Hey Jetters, hope you're doing well. I'm glad to hear. It is Friday. It is a good day for most people because of that. So extending the goodwill to y'all. Let's see what we can get by bumping up the style weight even more. I think we're gonna get it here. I'm already preparing to send this job ID because I feel I could just see that it's gonna work. So it really does help to bump up that style weight to compensate for some of the aesthetics here. But look at this. Yes, look at the felty hair, the texture in the skin. This is everything that we want from this result here. Even this is like kind of as a keychain, like a charm is cute. So let's go ahead and copy this over. Copy, job ID, and I'll bring this over to VC Create for you guys. And then you can use that as a template to make your own version of it. Especially when it comes to trying to get a complex character in as a stop motion puppet, you do have to sacrifice certain elements of like proportion and such to compensate for the fact that it's made with traditional materials, so people could see the texture and all that sort of stuff. Um, okay, you guys animating her with doing the splits is just like hilarious because I can just imagine the dialogue that's happening here. But let's go ahead and upscale this fourth one here. I'm gonna use the Discord for this, and then I'm gonna do a variation subtle on it because I want to see any sort of tweaks we can make with this just by doing a little bit of a subtle variation. Variation subtle is going to keep the composition of the image, while variation strong is going to change the composition of the image and use this more like a base. I really want to keep this composition because it has so much good detail on the close-up here. So I'm curious if I want to get a full body later or not, but we'll see what we can get off of this. Okay. Now with the variation subtle, I am liking it, but let's see which one is a little better. I want it to make sense, and this one I feel like makes a lot of sense in the necklace, but I don't like her face as much. I like this face, but I don't like her necklace as much. We can always edit that. And she kind of has dreads in these. What happened? Something else in VC Create?
Yeah, I just attached some strings to the Yona doing the splits, and her walking is amazing.
Okay, let's take a look.
It's the second last one.
Got it. This one here.
Is this the extension? I'm not sure. It doesn't look like. No, you need to. Oh, yeah.
It plays twice. There you go. That's hilarious. if you do say a puppet, like a puppet show, or if you do describe it as a puppet, it oftentimes tries to make it a marionette or make it with the strings and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
It does help to say stop motion animation when you actually get to the video portion because removes the strings at that point. But
But I wanted the strings.
yeah, I know
I
you
wanted
did.
it.
Yeah.
I wanted to force it into the silly movement.
It's very good. It's very fun. Um, but
Yeah.
let's see what we can get by exaggerating this a little more. I feel like we
Oh,
kind of
I have
lost
a
her
nice
hair here,
prompt.
so
I have a nice prompt for you guys to try. There is a very famous stage for puppet shows in Germany, uh, and it's called Augsburger Puppenkiste, which is basically Augsburger puppet box. And I wonder if this will help with puppeteering. Put it in VC
yeah,
text.
I'm so curious to see um, how any of
They
these.
they are doing puppet shows for like 50 years or something. I don't know. It's insane.
Nice. Well, let's see what we can get with more of a full body because I feel like we lost her hair as we did variations in that, and I want to kind of zoom out a little bit and make sure we capture her in full here. Let's see, that's a little weak. I kind of want to do a very let's just refer to her art sheet really quick. So she's got this like fluttery feathery necklace because she's all like chicken feathers and stuff, chicken bones, chicken feathers. So I want to make sure that we definitely get that represented in here. I'm gonna go for. I just the chibi with the tiny legs is funny. I think this one's probably our best bet. I'm gonna go with a variation subtle on this one, and get us a little more of that anime aesthetic back. The we could balance it in between these two style weights and kind of get us a good spot with that, but I feel like this will be more than enough. While this is happening, because I'm seeing a good smile, I think this second one's going to be good for Yona here. Let's try to grab another character while we're at it. Um, let's come into here and let's see who else we got. Hide this. There we go. We have Nichan from King Gay Sofa, and I this is a very stylized image. I don't know if this is going to work, but we'll give it a try anyway. We'll consider it a challenge image. The bunny assassin Ne Fusu. Okay, so let's just describe her as a bunny assassin using the same template we had before here. But now we could just paste our new character reference here, get rid of that, and then get rid of the description, and say that it is a bunny assassin. Um, of a bunny assassin. Boom. Okay. Let's take a look at these. That is way better. I like this one a lot more already. I would say I'd say this one's pretty good. Let's go with this one. I'm gonna now copy this over. We could actually use snipping tool as well, but the editor works as well for cropping down at least in one direction. We can't do both. Like we can't like fully crop, but we can at least snippet the character here. Copy. And now that we have this little segment, this center segment of the image, we can use that as our Omni reference now. So let's go ahead and hit use on this. That's so we can retain this style reference. And now I'm going to paste this new image of her as the Omni reference. And this is where we start to swap from puppetry, like puppet animation in terms of like sock puppets and such, to stop motion animation. Because at this point, if you, unless you're like Raps who wanted the strings on there, a lot of times the puppetry is kind of understood, at least through my experience with messing with this stuff, is understood as a, like a kid's show, like a bunch of strings hanging down, shadow puppets kind of stuff. So let's instead say that this is just a stop motion animation character. So I'm going to say that this is a stop motion animation depicting a dark voodoo, and then it just goes into her description there. I'm going to say it's 69. We'll keep the style weight the same, and the omni weight we can now increase, because keep in mind, we're not converting the art style anymore. We're saying I want this now. We can now increase the omni weight to something like 250 or 300 or something, and that will preserve a lot more of the character in what we create here. We to the point where I probably can get rid of most of this description here. And while that's running, we have our assassin bunny. We probably need to describe a gender to get us a little more like this here. I like how her hair is kind of like pinched in like this, so I want to see if we're going to be able to recreate that here. So let's say that instead that she is a female bunny assassin with short hair. That should do the trick. And we're just about loaded here with the first scene. It's going to take notes of the background from this as well. I really specifically picked this background because it looks like a tabletop set. It's something that's made out of, like, you know, small faux trees and bushes you would see in tabletop games. And the terrain looks like something that was made out of styrofoam. That is exactly what I want to make sure, is that everything in my reference is as intended for my final output. So we can now take a look at this and see that we have that same lack of, like, we have a very small depth of field here, but we're able to recreate a good amount of the that aesthetic here, at least in color tone, in these results here. So I do like all of these. I think that this is going to work. This is my little test to make sure that this character works. So now we can make her do something. So I'll hit use again on here, and we can, you know, dial back her description as needed. So I'm just going to say that she is a dark voodoo witch elf and leave everything else to the image or the omni weight. The omni reference to fill in the gaps there, because I want to put more emphasis on the action of this scene, or the action of this character here. So let's just say that stop motion animation depicting a dark voodoo witch elf. I'm going to say that she's jumping down from a tree or something. Jumping from a tree high above. Extreme low angle, or high angle. I guess high angle would be extreme high angle view. And that should get us a bit of an upward looking look. I'm dyslexic, so sometimes I get those two confused between high and low. But I'm all good. I'll see what this gets us, and then we'll adjust as needed. But the idea here is that we're basically going to start directing our character with these prompts. So there we have our female assassin here. And I love it. We were able to recreate a huge chunk of this character, in my opinion. That is so cool. All right, let's copy this over for you guys. Copy, job ID. And bring that to you guys. And then we'll check out everything you guys have done once we have updated, because there's so much stuff from you guys. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, one of your favorite characters has returned.
Oh my god. I'll be stoked to see it.
It is gigantic. It is yellow.
Okay, I'll save my suspense. But you can see here that we now have the bunny character really well illustrated here. I'm really digging this. So let's go ahead and grab that entire job, actually, because I want to make sure you guys have that. Copy, job ID. Okay, /show.
This is wonderful.
Okay. And just to show you guys also, like, this is an example of where I really want King Gay Sofa to get a ping about this, even though I think he might be here. At least he was here. I'm going to make sure that I copy the image here and bring it over to the character portal entry and just paste it so that they now get a ping letting them know that we did something with their character. Okay, so we have that now. Here is Yona jumping from a tree. We are still getting a couple of interesting issues here, but it is something that we'll be able to fix. This could be fixed with a variation subtle, but I noticed that in the pattern in all these is that she's dead center in all of them, right? Like the focus is just right there. So we could lower the omni weight a little bit to kind of give us a little more variety, but I actually think that if we apply some chaos and tell it to do a more dynamic composition, we'll be able to get something interesting here. So let's hit use, and then I'll say that extreme high view, high angle. I should have said, why does it say high view? I should have said high angle view. And then I'm going to say that this is let's say that this is a dynamic composition. Okay, depicting a dynamic composition with a strong rule of thirds depicting, we already did depicting. She is a dark voodoo witch elf. Okay, there we go. I'm going to go with this, and then I'm also going to try another iteration with a chaos parameter in order to kind of mix up everything that we get. And I'm going to keep that relatively low because chaos is crazy powerful. Let's go ahead and set that to something like 5. The idea with this is that the chaos is going to kind of randomize more of the potential compositions, and just even its focus on certain details of things. It'll do something different every time, but it really helps us get out of these sort of patterns of repetition that we see inside of results. So I like throwing chaos in whenever I see the same thing on all 4 images. And this one's pretty good. I like this a lot. I like her running chase here. We definitely didn't get the high angle with that like we did on some of these other ones here, but I am liking it. So let's go ahead and re-roll this just so that we have more options. But I'm going to copy that over now. Actually, let's run it as a video. I think this will be a fun one to run as a video. We can do that super easy with the website. Just drag this up to starting frame, and I'm going to say that this is the dark skin voodoo witch running through the forest. And then I add the medium that I'm going to be animating in at the end of the prompt. Basically saying that this is stop motion animation. If this is the stage where you decide, how do I want this to actually look? If it's stop motion animation, that means that it's going to be framey. It's going to have it's going to look a little more chunky than it would be if you just animated this straight without a description. Because the default when it comes to animation tends to look, at least with AI video, tends to be very 3D, just this rendered, and that's not what we want. We want it to look like stop motion animation, have that stepped process. And so I'm going to go ahead and hit submit on stop motion animation at the end of this prompt, and we'll see how that video comes out here in a minute. We are going to animate it on high because I want a lot of movement in this scene, but we'll see how that goes. Okay, all right. So with our Chaos of 5 re-rolled, so keep in mind these are the same exact prompt that we had here, but with Chaos 5 re-rolled, we got a lot of really cool looking shots. I really do love just adding a little bit of chaos in there. It does change up the character a little bit sometimes, but it gets us something I feel like would be a lot more functional. But let's try Variation Subtle on this one because I think this is by far the most interesting composition it's given us yet. And then I'll dig into VC Create to see all the cool stuff you guys have made. I like the idea that she's just clawing into this tree and like holding on with just her fingernails. Like just like the sheer force of that is pretty cool. She kind of looks like a cave woman in some of these, but let's go ahead and see. Variation Subtle gave us a lot more variation than I'm used to when it comes to like the body poses. So I'm curious what happens if we do a Variation Strong instead, because I'm pretty sure this is just going to completely change the image. But I feel like we're getting a little too much variation here. It might be because we have added chaos in there. So let's try remix mode as well. We can hop ourselves back by clicking on any one of these red icons that are here. that will bring you back to the original prompt. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a remix instead of a variation. And remix here, if you hit it, will add a top bar here. Will not just instantly make the image. It'll re-add to the top bar, and now we can edit the prompt as needed. The only thing I'm going to do here is get rid of chaos because we saw so much variation between the four of them. I want to have a little more control than that. So let's go ahead and submit this with a variation subtle without the chaos added. And this is that same one rerun again. And we get some pretty cool angles here. Like, I could definitely see her running down the tree, like almost like defying gravity in a way, in a very comical way. Here, there's going to be a lot of options for how we can mess with Yona here. But I am going to see how these now, without chaos, look at that. It's so much more conformed to the previous image. That's exactly what I wanted. But I am going to re-roll this one more time because I think this is the best result we got, and I'm confident that we'll get something useful out of this. So we'll see how that goes. And for this one, I like the running down here, so I could say again remix subtle and say that depicting with a strong roll third, she is running, or she is, let's just say that she is, instead of jumping from a high tree, she is running down the bark of a tree high above, and we'll just submit that. And hopefully we get more of a jog look from her from this image. Okay. And we got a knife in her hand, and one of them, and this one's actually pretty decent as well. Like, we have, at least in terms of matching the character art, it's pretty good. She's giving us a thumbs up there. Yeah, I think this one's pretty decent. This is what I'm going to do now. Because we are seeing some of these vines turning into what looks like puppet strings, I'm going to actually do an edit on this one, and we're going to use the Midjourney editor to do that. So we could just hit edit here and then in paint everything, but we also have access to an internal editor, or I guess that automatically brought us up there. But yeah, there's a couple different ways to edit images in Midjourney, but we're just going to go ahead and highlight select all of this, and that will get rid of these strings that are here. We could also just keep the prompt as is, and it should be fine. But if needed, if you do start to see a bunch of artifacts and things you don't intend to, you can remove the prompt entirely up here and just use an empty, what we call a void prompt, in order to kind of act as like a glue or basically like a like a patch tool. It works like a patch tool if you're familiar with Photoshop tools. But I'm just going to come into here, try to get her foot put in here, and that way with an empty quote here, we should be good to basically just fill in all these little gaps here. And then I'm going to get her to jump between the trees and make like a cool, like kind of, like a Jungle Book sort of movement here. So we'll see what we get. If there's any questions or anything, feel free to use VC text. I feel like I've been going hard on the description here today, so I really do appreciate you guys. Anytime you guys can chime in and let me know what sort of direction you want to see this stuff go in. I am more than happy to divert based on public demand of what we should do.
Okay, you should look at VC Create. There is so much amazing stuff coming.
Yeah, okay. I'm so excited. We're gonna run this, and then I'll get that on there. I'll get on to VC Create and check out all this stuff. This is the last thing I wanted to show, was the running down the tree is so good here. This is like, she's like falling down from the tree here. I'm gonna copy this whole thing over for you guys just because I feel like we're gonna have some fun with this later. We'll do /show, and then I will spend some time digging through VC Create with you guys. Let's see. I also want to run this as a video here. Look at, she's actually has the armature puppet strings. It was almost like a circus act. But I like this one the most. I think it has the most potential for fun. So I'm going to go ahead and say that this is a animate manually. And then I'm going to say this is a stop motion animation depicting the Dark Voodoo elf. Let's see, falling from the treetop to the ground. And I could say she hits every tree as she comes down, but let's go ahead and just hit submit on this. All right, Perfect Sin asked how to connect the shots together to make them have the same style. The best way to do that is actually what I recommended at the beginning of the stream, which is to use the same style reference. You'll notice that a lot of these are with a very similar color palette. They all have blues and greens, and they are slightly out of focus for the background. That actually is all to help mesh these things in together later. But you can easily basically maintain a stylistic or an aesthetic control by using a style reference, and this is the style reference we're working with today. So that is just appended as a style reference, and you can see Yona running through the forest looks amazing in stop motion. I'm loving this. Let's go ahead and bring this over to you guys, and then I am going to check out everything you guys have made inside of VC Create. This is just so much. Look at this. Just look at this. Oh, okay. All right. I can't stop gushing over this, so I'm going to go ahead and paste this inside of VC Text so that you guys can see this better too. But now let's check out VC Create. If you guys do want us to animate anything, paste the images inside of VC Text. It's harder for us to catch VC Create images when you paste them because there's just so much going on inside that thread. I highly recommend.
Or you can just reply to your posting and ping me at Rhapsody, and I will just do animate.
Looks like Perfect Sin's got something for you to already work on. Awesome. All right, and you can see the fourth one was the one that I. Oh wait, was it the fourth or the third? It was the third one that I said, "Hey, let's bring this to VC Text." But the fourth one's also really good. And now let's check out everything that you guys are doing now that I've upscaled these. Enid working on some dragons, going shopping. Very cute. I'm gonna be focusing a little bit on the videos, but I definitely am going to look at everything here. Fungi Mancer. Working with those beads. That's funny. This is one of your Fungal Mancer characters. I love it. Let's see here. A noir puppet show character looking like a rat with messed up hair and a bite out of his ear looking television 16:9. So the only missing the parameter for the aspect ratio here. If that's okay if you missed it, because we can actually fix it very easily. I will go ahead and hit copy image address. I'll bring it into the Midjourney editor here, and we're gonna hit edit. Let's hit create here. Edit, and then new. Where is that? Where the new button? There we go. It's down here. Okay, and now we're gonna hit edit from URL, paste, because I do like this a lot. He definitely should be playing piano. Let's go ahead and we'll go into the move tool, and then we could set it to 16:9 as the edit. Okay, and your description here, we could just literally copy and paste that over to kind of fill in the gaps here, instead of using our void prompt technique that we showed a little earlier. And I still have my style reference here attached to this. In this scenario, you see it's a black and white aesthetic. It's a good chance that it's going to try to add color if I include that. So I'm actually going to get rid of it for this edit and rely on the existing image to kind of bring that all here. I'm not sure if /show. Yeah, /show will work in VC Create. I don't think it works in VC Text. And there you go. Just like that, we are able to run this and now get it back to being a 16:9 image just by asking for, or just by using the editor here. So let's go ahead and pick a good one here. I'm not going to pick the one with the rat on the side here because it's just looking at his face and going, there should be more of that. Let's go ahead and pick one that kind of makes sense here at the end. I like the one with the clock here. We can go ahead and just edit a little bit more just because I'm a nitpicky guy like that. And I just want to make sure that this TV looks about right. I'm going to take this off here. There we go. And let's go ahead and remove this because I don't understand it. This is a technique that whenever I'm in painting, I try my best to look at its shape and go, does that make sense? Do I understand what that shape is? Do I have to try to understand it? If I have to try to understand it, I get rid of it, because at that point, the audience will not be able to put nearly as much effort or care as I am putting in to the image. So it's just really important to have a very coherent and usable image, especially for video prompting, because every one of these details are going to help influence the video, the motion inside of the video. We don't want a bunch of distracting elements, and we don't want a bunch of things that are going to say, hey, this is not actually the character or whatever. We're instead going to make sure that we isolate our image to what's the most important. And I think this one's actually pretty decent. I like this. All this makes a little more sense. So let's go ahead and upscale that. And then I'll bring that into VC Create after it's loaded up. But we're going to move on and continue checking out some of the other stuff from you guys. Let's see here. The newspaper mouth. That's so interesting. It's like you glued fabric in individual strips to get this. Interesting. What is it? What is the prompt? A puppet made of yarn and paperwork. It's a T-Rex with long arms. It has large, cute eyes, and then long arms. All right, that's great. Okay,
it's ordering coffee at the bottom. I animated it ordering coffee already.
Oh, good. I'll check that out in just a moment. Okay, let's see here. We got a couple different nice dinosaurs and from Rhapsody here. A couple cute little raptors made of like papercraft. Let's see. You got more aliens, more dinos. Oh wait, the monster. The monster is desperate and crying tears made out of clay. Motion low. That looks so good. it's like you had like a turkey baster or a syringe in the back of the head, and you like squish the syringe so it just blurts out of the eyes. That's hilarious. Okay, I kind of also want all the other eyes to also squirt like that liquid out of it.
Oh yeah.
That's so weird. I love it. I love the creep factor of stop motion animation, because it makes my partner squeal in uncomfortableness whenever she sees a fully stop motion film. She's a full-time animator. She knows it's the one style animation that bothers her the most, and that's what I did the most working in Hollywood. So it was always a funny combo. But this is really cute. This is from Nixie. I love this. All right. I gotta animate this one. So I'm gonna say animate high motion. I'm gonna say that this is a stop motion. You already did it. Stop motion animation depicting a young explorer elf who sets out to navigate the tunnel systems around her home, searching for her squirrel friend who rushed her ahead. The tunnels are winding and mysterious, earthy tones with ambient lighting at sunset. Chaos 33, and then profile, ORF, and OmniWave. Very, very cool. I definitely notice this whenever it comes to like, we oftentimes over describe our prompts because we really want to see Midjourney be creative with these details. But when it comes to video prompting, I've noticed that every little word you add in there is going to heavily affect the results in terms of what sort of visuals you get from it. And that makes sense. So I would rather describe what this character is doing inside of here first, just to get us her to come into this space. But I also am going to show you guys another technique here to make it so that she walks into this scene. Okay. So let me first copy the image here. And then I'm going to go to the Midjourney website to do this, because it's just visually, it's easier for me to explain this with this. I'm going to paste the image of Nixie 13 stop mo character here. And it'll, by default, it oftentimes sets it as an image prompt. Once you paste it, you can actually get rid of it and then click on the Add Images button, and it'll give you all 4 options back again. You'll find it as the most recent image that you've had, and you can just drag that to starting frame. Now, the trick that I'm going to show you guys is that normally if we just run this as an animate, with the animate manually or the animate fully animate button, It's just going to use this as the starting frame. But what if we want to have the character walking into this scene? Okay, so let's go ahead and use a alpha image as the starting frame instead of our image here, or doing a loop or something in order to kind of cut it with editing software later. That's a lot more hassle than it needs to be. We can literally just go ahead and grab a blank image that is the right aspect ratio, 16:9, but it only includes an alpha channel in it. It'll make a lot more sense after I've run this image for you guys to see it, but I'm just going to drag that empty image to the start image or starting frame here, and then I'm going to describe what I want to see in this video. I'm going to say that this is a stop motion animation depicting a she's going spelunking. That's what she's doing. She's spelunking. Let's like depicting a hiker spelunking. Is that even a word? Spelunking. Yes, I just didn't spell it right. Okay, depicting a hiker spelunking. She has just entered the tunnel or the cave. All right, and I'm going to set that to animate with high motion as well. Okay. So now if we actually copy this over with the job ID, copy job ID, it'll be a little easier for you guys to see inside of Discord what this initial frame does. Because if I just click this right now, it's just literally a blank. It's just an empty file. But if I now bring this over to VC Create, and we're gonna hop ourselves, I'm gonna make sure I save this part of the chat here because I need to jump back up to here. But I'm gonna do /show, and that should be a rendering job that just stays up. Okay, it's not completed yet, so I gotta wait until it's completed. Okay. Oh, wait. I see Golem. This is also something that I've noticed oftentimes when it comes to describing it as a sock puppet, right? It will not respect the mouth of the character at all. The mouth will be like a little slit here, but then it will open up the entire bottom jaw. Spelunking, turns out spelunking is a thing. Lunking refers to the intimidating or disruptive gym men member. That's awful. They're just in that, they're like lunking in the cave. That's such a weird phrase. Okay. We got the crystal guy here. That's great. It's fun. Not a lot of motion going on though in that one, sadly, but that's also because you're working with vertical video. If you have a proper 16:9 video, it's going to allow for more, imagery, or at least an understanding of the imagery from the aspect ratio of a film or movie. So if you're wondering why your vertical videos are not doing what they do normally, then that's probably why. Aspect ratio is so important for mid-journey stuff. Okay, let's get ourselves back up to where we were. Almost there. There we go. Is that the rolling cheese log as well from Alistair? Yes. Yes. Okay, good. It's funny that I know you specifically whenever I see a cheese log. But I'm going to go ahead and grab our spelunking video. It's almost done, actually. We got to let that go a little longer. Let's scroll on up now. We also have this one for Raps as well. The tears made of clay. It didn't cry that time, but that's fine.
Yeah.
It's so gross coming out of the mouth like that.
But I love him.
Yeah, it's great. But I do want to take
in my head, he's like an alien that has landed on our Earth and is suddenly, I guess, now aware that he's very tiny. And he's like, I want to be in a better place.
There you go. That's good. But let's go ahead and lunkheads. Jesus, Enid, that's hilarious. I do want to eventually animate this one as well. I do think the knife is going to give some problems when it comes to just how awkward it is in terms of the position of it, right? I will go ahead and just sit animate on low motion for now, so that I have it in my library. But I will probably go back and edit that knife later. I would just really want to get through the VC Create stuff with you guys. Ooh, I like her. I like the little simple turnaround and look though. We have a little bit of a snow globe issue where there's like snow and stuff coming in. Let's see. Is there any description of snow? No. This is probably a an overlap of like Christmas specials and other like stop motion animation tends to be for the holidays, right? So that might be a little bit of overlap there. You might want to say that this is not a Christmas thing or something like that to encourage that. Let's see what we got for this one. Oh, the lookup's really cute. So here's another very useful thing that you can do when it comes to your Midjourney results here. So if you do have access to the video, you can actually copy an individual frame from the video and use that as a starting frame or just as an image prompt or whatever you want to do with it. There are ways inside of Midjourney to actually look at a video and say, and I'm going to look at this in a minute, but we can look at a video and grab a favorite frame. This is some pretty fun stuff of Yona falling from the tree. But say I just really liked one of these poses from her, I could right click on it and hit copy current frame. You also have the ability to do this with just Chrome itself, but it's already built in the Midjourney. Just use it, copy that frame, and then use it as an image prompt. We'll look at these here in a moment. We're going to finish these first. But that's how I would be able to get her looking up at the sky and then use that as a starting point. Cool, cool. And then we saw those. Just want to see if there's any other ones that I missed here up here. From Rhapsody also. This is a very funky giraffe sock puppet. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to make some monsters. Like, we have amazing characters and humanoids are fine, but the weird stuff in stop motion puppet animation, that's the creative part for me. That's what I love about it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to see stuff that nobody has made before.
And I feel like you get into that realm so much faster with claymation, stop motion in
Yeah.
general, because it is inherently against everything that modern entertainment really does. Like we're not running things at 60 frames per second. Like we're animating at 12 in order to keep it sane if you're doing it traditionally. If you're probably even animating lower than that for most things, but like it is just it is one of those things that in terms of modern technology, we're able to do some really amazing stuff with AI to kind of take out all that labor and make something that has that unique look, that has that aesthetic. Same thing with like retro anime, which we've done so many times in the past already, but we want to bring back these things that are just simply too costly to do today in today's industry, entertainment industry. Now everyone can do it and do it in a much more affordable way. And it's just so exciting to me. But let's take a look. This is Yona talking. This talking head version of her is really really cute. I do think she has too many like it's too much of a dread head, right? But I do think this is pretty cute. I'm gonna upscale the first one. Oh, okay, that's just an image. Let's see. Yeah, I love that. This is a good result. Okay, we're caught up. Hey, Kinky, do you want to do some announcements?
Sure thing.
Awesome.
Hello. Give me one moment to finish my bite.
All good, no rush.
You caught me just as I was taking a bite of my bagel that I've been waiting to come out of the toaster. Hello. My name's Kinky Kong, and this is your Kinky Kong Minute. I'm here to talk to you about a little thing we call prompt battles. We do it every weekend on the Midjourney server. Every 15 to 20 minutes, there is a new round for 8 hours a day, Saturday and Sunday. You're more than welcome to join for one or all of them. You can learn how to prompt, make new friends, and win free fast hours. What we do is we get an idea from somebody who gives us a theme or an exact word prompt or whatever they want to give us, because they can do whatever they want. We've actually had somebody tell us to prompt with our non-dominant hand as a challenge. So we do this challenge for 10 minutes on our own. We come back and put it into something called a poll unit. And the poll unit is it's a way to make sure that nobody knows who posted what, who made what image, or who's voting for what image. And then we all vote on them, and the winner of that round tells us what to do for the next round, and they win a free fast hour. There's also an ongoing game of bingo every day at Prompt Battles, where you can win a free fast hour. I sure hope you join us. We've made it so that there is hopefully a time available for you, because one day we start early and one day we start late. Saturdays we start late and Sundays we start early. But we try to make it so that people in the UK can get in as well. But I think that was it. That's been your Kinky Minute. Thanks for listening. I hope you all have a wonderful night.
Well, thank you for that, Kinky, and for Rhapsody for petting Kinky right now.
Aww.
I can also pet you.
Yeah. No. Oh, no.
No.
Yeah, you have to do it from above. There you go.
You're unpettable.
Yep. Oh man, thank you for that, Kinky. Really appreciate that. Yeah, go to Prompt Battles, guys. So I focused on this one right here because I know exactly what Golem was trying to do here. He's trying to isekai Nia here, get her hit by a truck.
I was.
You were? Oh, that's you. Okay, I see. Okay. So I think I love that. I love being able to jump into each other's videos and extend them, and do funny stuff with it that we didn't expect. Right? Frere and head pats. Exactly. We all need some Frere and head pats. The Raps was about to obstruct me. Okay. Oh.
Hey, that reminds me. When I visited Victor in summer, we actually saw the Isekai truck.
Yeah, we did.
We actually saw it. I'm gonna post the photo in a second.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you can find the photo.
It was just too funny.
So we could see here with the sock puppet. Yeah, when it comes to the sock puppet one, there's I guess there might be a floating string or two that's causing a little bit of a snafu when it comes to the movement of this. Like, she's talking to a worm in this one. It's so weird. I know that if I just slightly edit the video, we can avoid this kind of stuff. But I also really like what Ina did here with this character when it comes to this soft little walk that she does. This here. So the thing about this is that you could start to see the conflict of medium that happens with this, where she's talking a bit on the bottom left one here, but almost all of them feel like a mask, right? And you could look at that as a negative, but I look at it as a positive. It gives me something to be able to say, hey, actually, I wanna make my own motion tracking. I want to have the character talking with an existing voice line. We could do that. We could do that with simple motion tracking and keyframing individual mounts. So you could take like the mounts from this one, so you know what your mounts are, and then apply them with a post effect to this. That would be an entire separate class for me to dig into. So maybe we'll do a After Effects like intermediate or expert level class in some point in the future if you guys want to do that. If you do, join the Gnarly Studio server and ask for it. I'm going to see if we can directly isekai Golem really quick. If we can maybe describe it as saying, suddenly an isekai truck is rapidly hitting the puppet. The truck is entering the frame from the left. The puppet is flying away. Impact the cat puppet. It hits the cat puppet. So and I see what Rhapsody was going for here by being redundant and reiterating. That's totally fine to do. It sometimes gets you the result way quicker. I think that if we describe it as saying that a truck, not even describing it as a rapidly hitting her or anything, we'll just say a truck is entering the frame from the left at a rapid speed. The puppet, we'll just say that the puppet gets hit. Well, actually, you know what? I'm not going to describe it as a puppet. I'm actually going to describe as the character. The character is hit violently and thrown out of frame. There we go. That's how I would approach it. So I'm curious what differences our results give us. But by hitting the reroll button, you can literally change anyone else's extension. The AI mod getting angry at violent, yeah, probably. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Violently doesn't necessarily mean violence. So like it does understand that nuance sometimes, not always. But I've definitely done like he is violently shaking his hand at something is a great way to make something look like it's just like erratic or crashing out or whatever. But we'll see if violent had worked, and I see some kinky puppets coming as well. So we'll see what you guys do with that.
Yay!
Yeah, that's fun. Oh, that fourth one's really cute. It's just a sock. It's just a sock with a microphone. You gotta love the weird interpretations of sock puppet. Okay, that's hilarious. But let's go ahead and see if yes. Okay, it is rendering. It is rendering. I wonder if it's going to actually, get us the result we're looking for here. But we know that we could also describe it as a hit and run. That might work. So I'll come back to this and edit it probably again to see what we get. Oh, this is
I really, really like the talk in front of the microphone. I thought that was great.
I definitely play with it more, and I want to see. And you can see how easily it is that we kind of jump out of the aesthetic for the stop motion by not including the style reference like Goem did here. And then let me see. Is that yes? And it's reintroduced. No, it wasn't reintroduced here. I am going to reintroduce it with this, but I think you guys are already working on Kinky. I don't really need to mess with that much. I'm very curious to see what you guys can do with it alone. But I do have the spelunking video that I need to go into next. So I will see what you're laughing at in just a minute. But this is so good. Okay. Look at the way that it did it made a headlight for her for just at the very last second it disappears, but the spelunking is encouraging a headlight on her head. That's so cool. And like she turns it off, maybe she saw something or she got out of the cave and get to the light so she knows to turn it off, but she doesn't reach for it. So we would probably have to figure something out for that. But rather than making excuses for it, we see that we also get some really decent results just by rerolling it. So this is really good. I'm gonna go ahead and look at the environment. We're like going through the canyons here.
This is
so cute, so good.
This is insane. Like this, I would watch this.
Right? I want to watch this movie right now. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make it so we can watch it. Let's go ahead and bring this for you guys.
I wonder why she's underway. What's her adventure?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know. I see this character. I have how was that movie called where the mouse family was like going to another country?
Stuart Little. Oh no! Yeah.
No.
You're talking about
An American Tale.
American Tale. Yeah.
Fievel
Goes West. Fievel Goes West is the sequel.
Yeah.
Is the sequel.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm having like it feels to me like that.
Yeah, definitely the Fievel Goes West Western aesthetic. Definitely has that, and mixing it with stop motion is a pretty cool idea. Like, so we brought it into VC Create for you guys. Let's try to continue this story about this spelunking girl from was it Nixie, right? Nixie 13. Let's go ahead and if I were to rerun this, I'd probably get rid of the word spelunking to get rid of the headlight. But I want to see what you guys can do with just this. Actually, you know what? I'm going to rerun this, and then I'm going to say that this is a stop motion animation depicting a hiker spelunking. She just entered the cave. Let's change that. She just entered the cave, but she just got to an opening in the cave. So she turns off her headlight. Headlight's going to make it a car. Her headlamp. And then we'll hit submit on that. And you'll notice that inside of this prompt actually features the alpha channel that we were talking about earlier. So it's a little bit confusing to make it a parameter, like for you guys to like visualize it, because we already understand how it does with images when it comes to image prompting. But it works the same way when it comes to video, where the first link that you attach is actually your starting frame, and then you have to tell it manually with an end parameter the image that we had earlier of the spelunking girl. Okay, so this blank image, if you click it right now, you could save it. Okay, you could save this blank image, and if you use it as a starting frame, it'll make 16:9 videos that look like this, that have this gorgeous opening. This is introduction to the scene. I love this. It's something I hope Midjourney bakes into the experience, but it is something that I want to see you guys go really hard on, because you could basically describe any scene to get to that image. That's what's so powerful about this. Let's see the isekai impact here. Let's back up here. Let's see if we got any kind of decent impact out of that.
Nothing has worked, sadly.
No,
I've run it like 5 times.
I see.
Composter is just unkillable.
Unkillable, right. And it is something that I'm gonna try one really quick here. I love the way the bag gets thrown at the end, though. Look at the bottom left corner here while this is running. The GIFs will normally repeat. They will normally repeat if you zoom in on them once. Look at how the bag flies up. Woo! That's too cute. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to describe this as a hit and run. A hit and run caught on camera. I'm really trying to reinforce different data set like stuff that would say, hey, this might be something that comes up. If anyone needs an empty 16:9 frame, I love how whenever you guys link this, it just shows a big blank area. But yes, this is actually an image that you could save. I'm going to hit submit on a hit and run caught on camera. Okay, let's see. We got this little Orby dude just kind of jiggling about. You see Kinky there. We see the talking sock. Good. Please in-paint these results though. Like the string that comes over here, it's so distracting to me. I want to see some in-painting with this one. It's so...
The bottom left is hilarious with the opening.
Yeah, with the opening at the top. Yeah.
What?
No sock works like that. That's hilarious.
No.
Oh, I like these Goblin Girl clay characters. It's pretty cool. You could make a whole aesthetic out of this entire sheet, actually. If you just did the second image, use that as a style reference, it's going to be like a rose world. Everything's red. Sock is killing the show. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's see what we got for this. Okay, so this is the spelunking one where she turns off her headlight. It didn't really do the action much. I need to really describe which hand she does it, and I feel like we probably want to kind of get away from this anyway. Maybe we should put a flashlight in her hand. Things like these are the solutions that we can come up with for things that may not always make sense. Like she's holding a flashlight at the very beginning of the frame here, and we could use that later. But I'm gonna instead say that let's just say that she is started depicting a hiker in a cave, and then we will lean a little less off of the randomness of the headlight that we got, depicting a hiker in a cave. And we can describe what happens next. Maybe she runs into a Yeti, right? Like we can make her run into a black bear a brown bear or something like that. Anything is possible. So let's do it. Let's see. This was the other result, I think. This was an extension. Not an extension, but this is from Fungimancer, continuing it as a starting frame. So you can see the difference here. We didn't get any of that like dynamic introduction of the character. We basically have the character walking in this cave now. And that's fine, but in terms of the power of being able to start with an empty frame like this and see that it feels almost like a cinematic movie transition opening, all this came from that alpha channel. It's awesome. I like to call it a sea of potentiality. That's what we are experiencing. is the bigger the ocean, the more potential it is, and this is how we make the biggest potential ocean possible when it comes to this. It's just by giving it a literal alpha channel to start with. But now, without any description, I think of the headlight. Right? Is this okay? No, this one is from Nixie. This is Nixie continuing it. It's pretty fun. Pretty fun. I like it. I like how she comes over and she has this like glowing crystal that's guiding her path. That's super cute. It's in the prompt. Notice a small cave sprite in the distance naturally glowing that illuminates their way, and it made it there dancing towards them. That's too cute. Okay. A hit and run caught on camera. Did this work at all? Probably not.
Nope, she's running.
Yeah, she just runs. All right. I'll do one last one. One last one for this. A hit and run by a truck rapidly entering left of frame is caught on camera. That's going to be my last attempt for this. I'm not going to keep trying to hit a character with a car. But we'll see. That's some grinchy legs on her perfect Sin. That is some short little legs. I love that when you do the alpha channel thing, like it just really wants to encourage all sorts and shapes of characters. You could extend like describe her as lanky, and this won't happen. You somehow created an enemy here. Everyone just wants to hit you with a truck right now. And this is an extension from Fungi Mancer.
I thought it would be funny, but I didn't expect it to be this hard.
Very cute kinkies here. All right, let's see this one. Okay, this is the sprite one. Yeah, it's so cute. And then, the sprite disappears, but that means we can use this as we can just use the last like half second as the starting frame for a next one. So you can 100% do this. If you do not have access to the website for some reason, you can use Chrome to do this. And I'll show you that real quick using this video. Let's drag and drop this video into Chrome. Now it's just an entire Chrome browser that is this video. We can pause it, and then drag it to where we want to copy the frame from, like this one here. I like this one a lot. We can right click on the image now and hit copy video frame, just like we can on midjourney.com. And that lets us paste it anywhere like this. Boop. And I gotta refresh it. Paste the image. There we go. And you can see now that we have that specific frame as our new start frame. And we could even take one of the frames from our other results here and use that as an end frame to get her to to move into a dark part of the cave if we did want to describe it. But there you go. That's some really useful video tips that I feel like everyone should take advantage of. All right, this is the one where I said that she's depicting a hiker in the cave. Notice only one of them has the glowing headlight now. The spelunking was definitely leaning us towards that, and she is moving backwards in 2 out of these 3 frames here. And I don't really like her wobble, even though I do like the camera on the fourth one here. I'm just going to re-roll this one. And I know some of you guys are already extending yours, so I'll definitely be working off of your all stuff more likely than mine, but very, very cool. Oh, you got her doing multiple angles here. Awesome. All right. So this is by using that image as an omni reference, right? Where you now redirecting the character, the puppet of the wandering elf, the wandering elf, is climbing up a canyon. It's using all sorts of information from the omni reference to dictate that that result. So that's really cool. Let's go ahead and bump up the omni weight a little bit of this image. -- omni weight 250. This is just going to make the mountains look a little more like clay, so on and so forth. It'll probably give us a little, just about as much depth of field, but a little less mixing and mashing of the rock faces, I think. So let's see what we get with that. I like all your dragons. I see you guys are gonna re-roll this for me anyway, so that's all good. I don't know if we're gonna get there, but we definitely are able to fake it. We could do the standard Hollywood thing and fake it hit and run by using a still frame. I might do that just for the sake of fun today. But
You have one more I have one more coming with one of my secret keywords for this type of thing, and that is ragdoll animation.
Oh, good. Yes, yes, please. I want to see that. It's like
Yeah.
discombobulated for me as my hacky cheat code word for getting people to do weird things with their limbs. Um, but if you notice, by increasing the omni weight now, we have the mountains all looking much more similarly in aesthetic. So that's really cool. But I do like the fourth one a lot. Very cool. Let's see. Is this the stop motion from Fungi Mancer? Okay, let's take a look at this one. It's that little kick at the beginning that I don't like, but everything else is good. That's fine. We can always cut out the first second or last second of these images. Is she entering? She's entering the Crystal Chasm, isn't she? That's from our fantasy series. That is hilarious. Okay, let's keep going. Oh, this is one from Enid. More of the walking space girl. I like it. Now you're getting into what was one of my favorite prompts. Lux has gotten into it a little bit here. The not clowns. I don't like clowns, but the thing is there's one prompt that is going to be the most cursed thing that you can imagine when it comes to puppets, and I only know this because people keep throwing puppet prompts at me. If I re-roll this and then I say it says a holiday action movie marionette porcelain and polymer clay puppets screenshot movie still of an epic scene. Now I'm going to describe them as not marionette or polymer clay puppets. I am going to describe them as a holiday action movie depicted by abandoned dolls. Abandoned Dolls gets you the most cursed characters I think I've ever experienced with Midjourney, honestly. Just because they're all going to give you like horror elements to it, but it's all going to be like, oh, it got lost. It got lost and abandoned in a dark attic for 5 decades. Like, look, it's going to be crusty and interesting. But okay, so we didn't get too much with this one. I'm going to move on to. I like all these spelunking ones though. Very cool. We can use one as an end frame and get us to that moment with her. We could also describe it as a montage and be able to get multiple scenes like this. But I'm going to animate this one just as is. So just so I have it. Yeah, that's some real cute ones from you guys. No more shrimp. Yeah, I think I might have to do the traditional solution to get home hit by a car here. And I will do it. I will do it. I'll show you how to do it. The wiggle. The wiggle at the end is hilarious. Okay.
Yeah, and the spontaneous levitation in the bottom right.
Oh, nice, nice. What's with all these trucks? Good. Good. All right, yeah, we have a lot of spelunking. That's good. I'm very curious to see what you guys do with that. Well, this is animating here. We have one last one with this, and then I'm gonna do it traditionally with the best result because I feel like this is an easy enough thing that I can do for you guys. Give us a little bit of that Hollywood magic. There's an explosion. Okay, I wasn't expecting
And
the explosion.
not even explosions work.
Yep. Nope. That's funny. Okay, let's do this. Oh, the enemy. Oh, wow. Yeah, we're definitely jumping out of the stop motion here, but that's fine. It feels like we're on like a construction site with this one. That's hilarious. That third one's
So
insane.
Mia is super small.
Yes, right? That third one is legit, though. Nice stop motion
that is
spelunking
cool.
mountain climbing there. Yeah, we probably want to describe her actions a lot more here. You can see the string that she's kind of like using to cross this chasm, kind of like the chains that are here. The fourth one's probably the best representation of that, but I would probably go ahead and just inpaint that out because it's just kind of giving us artifacts. But this is cute though. Yeah. At this point, though, I definitely want to show the truck thing because I think that's just a really fun way show what we can do with the output here. I am going to take my favorite result. It'll take too long for me to dig through all the videos back here. So I think I should just take one of these where it's all discombobulated and moving around, but we're not going to see her long. I'm going to do this instead. I'm just going to grab one of the results from me here so I can do this quickly in Midjourney. All right, so we have the truck moving past here. I'm going to look at this one as well, and then we'll just pick the best one. Okay, yeah, she didn't even get hit by a truck on that one. Let's see this. Okay, that should be good. All right, so we'll take one of these, and then we're gonna load it into an editing program to get her to get hit by one of these cars here. What we're essentially doing is the same green screen trickery that you would do on like a YouTube video or anything like that you saw, like there's a Captain Disillusion does wonderful breakdowns of fake videos on the internet. He does one where I think he actually does this literal trick. So let's take a look. We'll use this one right here because I think that's the best result we got. I'm going to first save the video. I'm going to download as a raw video. So I'm not going to do the social media one because social media is just going to arbitrarily scale it up without any quality benefit. I want to just edit this in raw to make this happen. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to load up a program called After Effects just because that is going to be my way to do this. There are other programs like this that are probably free, but I just have the Creative Cloud subscription, so I'm going to do that with this. And we're going to use the Roto Brush to take GOM out of the image so that when we do crop them back in, we'll be able to combine all these new generative techniques and traditional visual effects tools together. So first thing I'm going to do is swap our view over to After Effects here. Let's go ahead and get rid of this. And I'm going to get us the video file here. Drag and drop. Boop. Okay. And now I'll make a composition that matches the settings for it. I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty of everything I'm going to do here because most people do not have experience with with After Effects. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in VC text, but for the most part, I'm just going to kind of speed run this here. So we have the video timeline here. What we want to do is at this exact moment here, we want to see GOM's character move with the car. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a duplicate of this layer, and then I am going to essentially roto brush her, just her. So let's go ahead and grab a still of this moment. I'm just going to freeze frame this by using time remap, and then hold Control plus there. Okay. Come on. All right. That should do it. Okay. I have to just make sure that there's nothing else edited from me doing that. Good. Okay. And now I've done a hold frame, so this video literally does not move on the second layer after this. Okay. So then I can just come into here and use the Roto Brush. It's an illustration of a dude. There we go. And I am basically just going to double click into this layer, and I am going to Roto Brush GOM. Okay. It's kind of hard for you guys to see this, but there is a purple outline around GOM that I have to correct by holding Shift and dragging to extend my my Roto selection. There we go. All right. And I need to get rid of this. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. Nicely Roto brushed here. And now I can essentially cut out everything that was prior to this. Boom, like so. And inside of this composition, I can now see that, wait, why is this freeze framing? Hold on. Did I also do it here? No. Okay. Turn that off. Okay. So did this, okay, the Roto Brush is there. And now I'm going to go ahead and, yeah, you can see GOM stays in place even though there's another version of her moving in front of it, okay? So in order to do this, we would then remove her from the overlap of on the truck. So let's first go ahead and get Golem out of the frame here. So we get to the start of this right here, like so. Then I'll add a keyframe that will move her. So let's bring this up a little bit so I can see. Okay. We go to the transform tool, position, scale, and rotation. And all thing I'm going to do is now drag this to where the car is in the front of the, or at the end of the frame here. And I'm going to just drag Golem to the right. So let's get ourselves open here. Why is this not letting me do this? Position. There we go. Just drag the position of her to be just out of frame here. And now she should start to track with the car. There you go. She's doing that here. And what we're going to do is we're also going to apply a motion blur. Boop. Like so. Boosh. Okay. And if we really wanted to go a little bit silly with this, we could also change her scale and make sure that it's not evenly scaled. So that she essentially crunches or squishes a little bit. And there we go. That should do the trick. And now we need to make sure that she actually, kind of moves a little bit in the frame. So I'm going to do a little bit of a rotation. And then, yeah. Exactly. You can get away with a lot with just the skew effect, honestly, when it comes to this. So yeah, but that's very computationally demanding. So let's go ahead. I'm just going to do it easy in here, and then I'm going to essentially just break the rotation a little early, so that there's a little bit of a stutter to it. That's a little too silly. Let's go for maybe a bit later. I'm going to go all the way. That works. Now we need to remove Golem from the truck as it passes. And you would think, oh, this is going to be hard because she's not she's moving. The truck is we basically have to just replace the logo that's on the side of the truck for this. But I want to make sure that we can do this quickly. And we definitely don't want to focus too long on every little aspect of her movement, like removing her arms sticking up and stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make another roto layer. Okay. And this roto layer is literally just going to remove her from this frame. So what I can do is I can go to that frame, and we want to get the next frame. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I am just going to open up a frame. So I say save frame as file. And then I'm going to save it as a Photoshop file. You'll see why in just a moment. Render. And now when I open Photoshop here, just a moment. There we go. What I can do is I can actually just in-paint her out of the frame here. Like so. And just gen fill it. I could do this with Midjourney Editor as well. I'm just doing it in Photoshop because it's all right here open for me. But you could easily upload this single image to Midjourney and have it do the same thing. But I know that the pixels and all that stuff are going to be kept the same outside of this. So we just need to get a clean image of the truck in the door there. That should do the trick. Okay, and now I will save this Photoshop file, and because it's all within the same sort of ecosystem, I can literally just drag back my my Photoshop file back into this project, and underlay it. Just put it underneath, and there you go. Now she will be removed from the front of the car. But we need to make sure that she actually, that we don't actually see her. So a clean plate of the truck moving would be enough. Like if we ran another video of just the truck moving in front of the store without her, that's the perfect way to do this. But we can make do with this. So now what I'm going to do is I am basically just going to turn her back on here. And we just need to make sure that the truck itself is captured in our roto. So that's where the second roto comes in. We are going to basically highlight this and have the truck underneath this. So now I will remove. Oof, that actually didn't work the way I thought it would. All right. Basically from here, I just need to make sure that the truck, oh, we lose the headlights from the in paint. That's okay. That's okay. We're basically just going to now select this with the roto brush. There you go. Select the truck. Oh, come on. Select the truck. Why? No, I hate that it's not letting me select the right thing. I'm on a very small window here, which is not normal for me to do this, but let's see if I can get away with this anyway. Nope, it's not letting me do it. Damn, why is this not letting me do it? Okay, all right. I don't want to keep you guys staring at this for too long here, but essentially what we're going to do is we're going to remove her from this and have Golem just be non-existent as the truck passes by. We could also use video in painting to fix this, but this is essentially how we would do it. We would just need a clean paint of this truck moving over. So the honest solution for me is actually just to get a clean version of the truck moving, because it does not want to select this truck right now for me. So let's check out what you guys have done in the meantime and have you guys not staring at this program while I'm troubleshooting that. But I wanted to show you guys how we would traditionally solve that problem of the truck hit. So at least we got it started. Okay. I love this. I'm glad you do. I hope this has been engaging and interesting for you guys. I'm very curious where we can go with the stop motion stuff from here. I definitely want to get one of just the truck moving in front of the store by itself. So let's go ahead and just do that really quick once we check out some of the other stuff that's been animated here. We do have the one from Yona falling down from the tree that we only saw very briefly earlier. Look at this. It's just being able to capture the branches and the running is just so freaking cool to me. I love that. Let's go ahead and copy that over for you guys, and then we'll check out VC Create. Job ID and VC Create. And then I'll catch ourselves back up to this. Oh my god, there's so much stuff to go through. Okay. Look at that. Yeah, these are some creepy puppets. I'm always kind of there's something creepy about like the kind of like forced cutesy. Like what if these animals were not enjoying this? Like they're being put in these clothes, kind of thing. Just I don't know why. Kind of a morbid thought, but. Oh, look at them. They're enjoying their Christmas lunch. That's great. Oh, they love it. It's Magic Forest Tea Party. That's good. That's good. I'm glad they love it. Oh god, some of the animation in these mouths too, like this cat chewing on this cake here. It's ridiculous. Very cool. Energizer Bunny? That is one bouncy bunny. Giant inflatable neon rabbit on the roadside stop motion adventure. Oh yeah, going all spirits. There you go. It's gonna be a lot of just me giggling at these results, guys, because frankly, I'm just extremely amused by the by stop motion being used in Midjourney. No more clowns. No more clowns, please. I'm not phobic of them. Like I'm not afraid of clowns. I just don't like them. Like I just I'm just prejudiced clowns, okay? Let's see here. I like the little robot dude. That's really cool. But you could see that even when you don't have stop motion, like an art style that would be reminiscent of stop motion or puppetry or anything like that, if you use a stop motion animation prompt, it's going to give you that framey look, that sort of like, not nearly as smooth as 3D would be rendering. So I think that's really cool. This is an extension from Rhapsody into Fungalmancer's knitted fungus world. That's so cool. I love being able to set an end frame and just do that. That's awesome. More clowns. Let's see.
Oh, this one's really good.
That's awesome. Yeah. This is a really good one. Yeah, for sure. And it just gives you so much potential too to be like, maybe there's something that overshadows too. Like we could say that with an extension on low, we could say that dark silhouettes. And I'm going to get rid of the end frame. Dark silhouettes approach.
Oh, there was an intro in there.
Yeah, that's what did it. That's what caused the
When my
loop.
animation didn't work. Yeah.
Dark silhouettes approach from either side of frame, obscuring our view. Like there's something chasing her that she doesn't know it. There's something coming after her. Let's do that. Let's submit that. I put it on low so that we kind of stay on this moment. We kind of lock to this scene, and then hopefully shadowy figures come in from the sides. It is helpful though to understand like to understand the parameter version of video though, because it lets you see that sort of stuff where like I saw that there was an end frame. I might not have caught that if it was just the thumbnail, you know? But let's see what else we got here.
Just some climbing.
Just some climbing. Yeah, I think are we about I like the chain walk there again. I think we're about caught up though. Yeah, we are, because this amazing run from Golem hiding from these trucks. That catches us up. I'm a gummy bear. Gummy bear. Ah! If you know what bit I'm referring to, that was not too long before I was working with them. We're getting our shadowy figures indeed. This is gonna work well.
Did you see Kinky's transformation in VC chat?
No, let's take a look.
VC text, yeah. The movie magic.
Start frame and end frame. Beautiful. That's great. Who made that? Is that Kinky?
Kinky did.
Nice. That's awesome. All right, here's our shadowy figures.
Why, thank you.
Yeah, that was great. Good job, Kinky.
Thank you for the images, Gunpasta. I really like them.
All right. So here is our shadowy figures coming in from the sides of frame. I wish that After Effects thing worked. I don't know why my rotor brush wasn't working on the truck one. I guess I had overlapped too many rotor brushes or something. I'll have to see. All right, silhouettes. Yes, okay. We might need to describe them as walking into frame, right? Because right now they just kind of appear. But it is very, very cool. We're very close on this one. So let's re-roll this one with just dark silhouettes walk into either side of frame. Let's do both sides of the frame. This is where we get a little dangerous, in my opinion, because if I edit too much, then I lose what momentum I had before in terms of what I was actually getting. Because a lot of times I end up kind of spinning my wheels, not realizing what I did wrong, and I realized that I just changed the grammar or I changed the wording of the prompt somewhere back in the chain from what I was doing. So figuring that out, trying not to experiment too much. It just reminds me back when I used to do 3D printing a lot. You have literally 300 parameters you could edit with a 3D printer. Do not edit more than one or two of those parameters every print. Otherwise, you're not going to know anything about what's happening. So
it's also important to remember that sometimes you just did everything right and the random roll you got is just bad. So sometimes when you change something and you notice that there is just like there's always something else changing than what you want, and the original was actually the best one after a few tries, then just re-roll that. Just try something different, or maybe add the dash raw parameter so that it takes the things you wrote more literally, because that can also just help and give you the results you want. It's not always about changing things. Sometimes you're already perfect.
You're right. Yeah, totally. I mean, I've definitely noticed that too when I'm like, and I feel that I should be able to get somewhere and I just didn't get it that one. There's flukes. I've gotten some really weird flukes before as well. I'll show you guys one of them. One of the most bizarre ones that I've had so far, actually, was trying to prepare for this stream. So this is an example of just a straight error. You'll notice that I have a bunch of videos of Victor and Raps walking down these stairs, and I was trying to extend it, and I had my partner actually made a joke about what if they pulled out baseball bats. So there is a version of this where we are pulling out bats. Yeah, this one here. I think it should like it says to like pull out bingo or something. There you go. You know, like that's too fun. But out of those results, I got this one out of nowhere, and I have no way to explain this at all. It has the exact same prompt parameter, but it's a live action and it's a spider crawling in a dude's ear. I have no idea how
That's
to.
weird.
It is so weird. It is the weirdest error that I've ever gotten with Midjourney Video, because there's nothing in there. There's no, like this is literally my prompt. I don't know if this is somebody else's prompt or whatever, but I definitely got an error there. So I'll report that. I'll report that for everyone later. In fact, I'll just do. I think I could just do it here. More report. I'm gonna say no. I'll say that later. I'll just share it in the right channels for it. But there you go. I think that overall, in terms of, I kind of failed with Gomes thing up here, but I really need a clean plate of that truck moving in front of this store. So I'll say that for next time, I think, because it is we're getting past 6, and I am starting to lose my voice. So
Yeah.
I don't want to go too much longer.
I know you don't want to go too much longer, but maybe I know you guys are having the show after the show, right?
Yeah.
Perfect Sin is asking how they can insert an exact character into a Midjourney scene, and I told them that they definitely came to the right place.
Oh yeah, for sure. If you want to put a specific character in it, I am going to recommend that using the editor. Yes, the show after the show. It's where you can come onto the stage and talk to us directly and share your projects with the entire community. We have it on the Gnarly Studio server. Just click on this join button. If you click there, you'll be able to hop into the server and start chatting with us as soon as this stream is over. So I highly recommend it, especially if you have any specific questions about your projects. It's a great way to chat with us.
Do that. And if you like this stream and want more and need help with your projects even more, then we not only have the show after the show, we're also doing other things. On Wednesdays, we have our jam sessions where you can bring your own work and we're just hanging out and prompting together or doing whatever. Sometimes we just hang out and talk. And if you then are convinced that you absolutely love us and you just want to have fun, then come by on Thursdays when we have our game night. And yeah, we're just going to play some games and do amazing stuff.
Well, thank you for that, Raps. I wasn't expecting all the title cards. That's awesome. Good surprise. I love that.
Yeah.
And I'll do this little thing for Principal Sin here real quick, just to show you guys how to insert an exact character into a Midjourney scene. Because I had to do that for Rhapsody earlier, so I already have a good example of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my prompts here. Let's actually go to Edit. I'll hit View All. And I will grab a result that I actually have of Rhapsody's character here. So I needed to make sure that when I generated with both Rhapsody and myself that our characters are consistent. How do we insert this character into another scene? And so what we can do is we can use the Smart Select to take this character and bring it into another image. I'm going to go to Select. And then you can now start to select individual parts of the character. Usually 1 or 2 is enough. but sometimes you need to kind of extend that a little bit to get parts that are a little more subtle. Now we have this character fully selected. We can hit erase background. Okay, and now we can just bring in another character. One where a background kind of makes sense for this, or at least has I heavily recommend making sure that it aesthetically matches. So what I'm gonna do is I'll just grab, say, this image of the bunny, what was her name, Nichan. I'll take this image of Nichan, get us to the editor, and then I am going to hit new layer, add layer, and then add from URL. You can also add from your computer, right? But we're just going to right click on this image, copy image address, and then paste it into our layers here. Add from URL, paste, boom. And now we just drag this to be underneath, and then we position the characters to make sense. So I am going to take the movement tool and move Rhapsody over here. Okay. And let's see here. Now that we have them about believably in height or so, I think actually Rhapsody's Rio would be down here. But let's put them about at a reasonable height to make sure there's enough data of her inside this image. Okay. Now that we have this, the only thing we have to do is just download it. Let me crunch this down a little bit so we can see a bit better into my browser here. There we go. I'm just going to hit download. Why is this? There it is. There we go. On the bottom right, we hit upscale to gallery. We could also fix this image at the same time. So if I wanted to go down to this bottom layer, I could hit the edit tool, then paint, and I can get rid of that knife that was causing us some issues. And then once I hit submit, it actually collapses those layers into one layer. So that is another way to be able to get a singular image out of this. If you want just a version of Rhapsody alone without the background, you could also download it before we put a background layer to it. But this works. This works fine. So now I can hit upscale to gallery, and we can take a look at our gallery, and that should give us the characters together, and we can essentially wait. What is going on here? Why did that not upscale with? All right, we'll just rely on this one. It should have done it when I did it earlier, but I guess I have to submit it and then submit it. There we go. We are about done on this image up here, and now you have two characters with a similar style in the same scene. It's just really important that the characters have like similar directions of light, similar materials, similar medium. Like if you do an anime character with a live action character side by side, this will not work nearly as well because it has just too much to balance and convolute with that. So let's see how this final image goes, and you'll be able to then use this as an omni-reference and get these two characters
Also,
in a single image.
Yeah, okay, you're gonna go over all new references. Yeah.
Yeah. So just go ahead.
I was just saying, because Perfect Sin is a newbie, they announced that they probably don't know what Omni references are, but no worries, we got you covered.
Yeah, got you covered, man. Omni reference is the character / environment / everything referencing. Oh no, please, this is what we're here for, man. It's all good. No, this is exactly what we want to show.
This is perfect. Like, if people would ask questions all the time, doesn't matter how easy or difficult they are, our job would be a lot easier because we could just answer questions and show cool stuff instead of thinking about new stuff to show.
Exactly.
So never be sorry for asking questions here.
Yeah, it helps actually. The two characters sneaking into a military compound is going to be the prompt that I work with this one, just because we got this little assassin lady here. And I'm going to say that this is also a stop motion animation. Okay. 16:9. and then use it as an Omni reference. That should get us about that image. The thing is that the higher the Omni weight, the more likely it's going to replicate the character's styles and aesthetics, like everything about the characters, really. But you really need to define it as two characters. Otherwise, it will try to merge them together, or it will miss certain details. And this is where your initial prompt, the initial one you make, you can analyze it and go, what's wrong with this? What's inconsistent about this? The bunny should be taller. The girl with the white hair wraps should be shorter. These things are now, you know what to change because of the results. Oh, thank you so much for coming, Jetters. I really appreciate your time with us today. It is certainly getting late, but we can take a look. There you go. They're entering a military base, but it doesn't look like them just yet. This is close, but in order to get them to look right, we are going to have to start describing the characters more. And I've already gone through that before, so I'm going to leave it at that. But it is super fun. I hope to see you guys at the show after the show. And I hope you guys had a lot of fun today. I did. This was really more for me than for anybody. I'm sorry, but I really did enjoy all the stop motion stuff. If you have any ideas for next week, pitch them in the show after the show. I want to hear them. I want to hear what sort of mediums you want us to cover. We do a lot of anime here, but I'm down for anything with you guys. This was a lot of fun, and I'm really glad you had a great time, Perfect Sin. Thank you for coming, and hope to see you next week. If not, during one of the events we have next week would be fun too. Okay, guys, you all have a great night. Thanks again for Rhapsody, Ancient, and Kinky for co-hosting here, and you all have a wonderful rest of your weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.